Hello everyone and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. So last time we landed on Minmus, landed twice on Minmus as part of a double operation. And so today, let's see what we've got on our missions. We've got a series all dealing with the moon. We've got someone we need to rescue from the surface of the moon. We need to dock 2 vessels on or around the moon, as well as rendezvousing them, but that will be completed when we do the other one. We need to get science data from space around the moon, and we forgot to actually pick up the moonstone last time, so we need to go and do that. We can get even more money if we build in this one, so test a small hardpoint on a suborbital trajectory over the moon. So we can easily do that, we just need to be careful with the altitude, but that's giving us an extra 170 grand between it, so let's grab that. And we can quickly grab a very cheeky one here, getting 60,000 for getting scientific data from space around Minmus. Well, we've left a satellite in orbit of Minmus. So here is our adorable little satellite. So we can just log temperature and transmit it. 0 science since we've already got it, but that still counts. Doesn't matter if we're repeating science, we just needed to transmit science. So there we go. Cheeky little extra bit of money there, and that's why I like leaving these satellites in orbit of their sort of parent bodies. So I think today's mission is going to be very similar to last time in that I'm going to send 2 rockets up with the purpose of docking each other around the moon this time, and then both of them can independently land. But I do want to design a brand new lander, largely because really seeing the advantage of putting 3 kerbals all in one ship now that we've got all of these EVA science, it really does take advantage of all the different kerbals. So let's unlock some useful parts to kick things off. Let's get these advanced command modules, mostly so we can get this one, the Mark 1-3 command pod. 3 kerbals in, very useful. This also comes with some wider lander cans. So a larger reaction wheel would probably be quite handy. You get some larger attachment ports, again going to be useful for the docking. Now, I would like to pick up advanced aerodynamics, really just for the air brakes, to help us when we're going in a little bit too fast, so we can actually slow ourselves down. It will also help with controlling which direction the space module is coming in at. A larger heat shield certainly won't go amiss. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit in the research tree to pick up electronics, mostly so we can get more science out of these landings, get the seismometer, and the seismic accelerometer goes on the ship. And the seismometer is a deployable module. And I'm just going to use the rest of the points to try and fill in some of our gaps here. We can fully unlock this branch. So we spent all of our science, got a huge amount more tech. But for now we're going to set to work designing a new aircraft, a new space lander. And so I'll start putting this together and probably show this on a time lapse, so I'll catch you afterwards. Okay, so here we have the Kenny, or the Kerbal Experimental Non-Newtonian Yeeter. So it's a 3-man lander. We've got rather heavy stage. This is very expensive, about twice as expensive as our previous ones. It's a lot bigger, can carry a lot more stuff. Kind of overkill on the storage space, but that's fine. Better too much storage than not enough storage. And hopefully this thing can get to the moon, land and get back all in one piece. Okay, so our first crew, we're going to take one of everyone. On the second one, I'm going to leave one space empty, and that can be the one that we're doing the rescue with. But for now, let's try and launch this with Kazu, Subas, and Carrie. Okay, right. SAS on, thrust full, fingers crossed, and let's try. Alright, on stage. Did put parachutes on those. I don't know if they will work or not. They might have all ripped on deployment. We'll just see. Right, we're out of the atmosphere, so I'm going to tip over. Yeah, that's that stage out, so I can deploy. The goal of this stage is to circularize us. I do have something wrong with the controls, so the solar panels are going to be toggled every time. We'll need to sort that. Forgot to put a communication system on this, so I'll need to remember that for the next launch. Yeah, very much a non-circular orbit, but we are in orbit. Time to head off to the moon. I know I do have a satellite in orbit of the moon right now, but it's got no solar panel, so it's going to be dead, and I really don't want to try and dock to a non-responsive satellite. It's going to be a pain. Yeah, now burning to moon intercept. We have way more fuel than we really needed. I just needed to get into orbit on this stage. Sorry, miscalculated some things there, but always better too much fuel than not enough. Also, on the next iteration of this, I'm going to replace these extendable solar panels on these sections with just the flat panel ones. Otherwise, I need to take these down in order to dock, which is going to be a pain. We've got our Mun Encounter in one day. So let's just jump back into the Space Center and we can get the other one sorted. Yeah, so the couple of little tweaks we needed to make. The solar panels come off, replace them with these little ones, and strap a antenna to that for communication. This one is a bit overkill, but I'm thinking this one is probably suitable to go on to do a flyby of Duno, maybe land on Ike. I'll need to look at the Delta V numbers. As for who we're taking, we do have enough power to deploy everything with just a scientist, so I am going to skip the engineer this time. Just take Luton and Filner, otherwise that should be absolutely fine. Okay then, so on to launch number 2. Thrust full, and let's go. Okay, stage burnout and stage. Fairing a little bit early. Nice and open now, and so we can just start to circularize. Yeah, and that stage is gone. So we can decouple. Make the next stage. Extend the solar panels. Got that bound to an action group, which functions now. Can also extend our antenna. Probably assign that to the same action group. And now we have orbit. So getting into orbit with 4,800 Delta V to go. I'll take note of that and see what we can do with this in the future. Burning now, but I just looked at some numbers while I was waiting for us to get to the right position to start our acceleration burn here. And it looks like this lander should be able to do round trips to both Duna and Eve's moons. So it can definitely do flybys of both. And yeah, should be able to do landings on the moons there. Doesn't really have enough to take off from Duna, certainly not enough to take off from Eve. But very good to know that this lander may be useful for quite a bit more than I had anticipated. Okay, so this one is going to be the Kenny B. Here we need to do the break in 1 day 11 hours. Sorry, 1 day 1 hour was the previous one. There's also 1 day 1 hour, so they're reaching this at pretty much the same time. And to avoid me confusing myself, I'm going to rename this one the Kenny A. For now, there's nothing to do but to float through space until we get our encounter. Yeah, these two craft are actually reaching their peri-apex within 2 minutes of each other, which is quite an accurate orbit that I've managed to get them going in. It's first one circularized, now just to jump over. Using RCS controls here to turn around, since it really doesn't like turning without the engine on. Okay, both circularized, now I've just got to try and get a maneuver, an intercept between the two. Okay, I've plotted in a maneuver to get us within 1 kilometer of an intercept. Yeah, actual maneuver is even better within 800 meters. Just going to tweak it a little bit with RCS. 400 meters will do, and we'll adjust that as we get closer. Yeah, and same as normal, I'm just going to push the retrograde marker onto the anti-target marker. Now I should be intercepting at 38 meters. I've already got the rendezvous mission successful, so now I just need to dock these two things. Yay. Brought us to a stop right next to the other one. So now we're just going to rotate around to point at the other target. Do the same over here. Some tiny little adjustments and bringing her closer. Alright, and then as we're getting very close, I'm just going to disable the RCS, because otherwise it freaks out when the magnets engage. Boom. Nice and smooth. There we go, that's mission complete. That's all we needed to do with these two. Very nice little docking. Now, I guess our main missions are to rescue the guy who's landed in the middle of nowhere and pick up moon rocks. Now though, we're going to undock. Use RCS to push us away a little bit. Alright, let's do the tricky part first. We're taking the Kenny B and we're going to try and rescue this guy. It's pretty good initial target, so we'll go for this. Actually quite far away from our other segments, we don't have to worry about colliding here. I accidentally overshot the altitude, so I've missed it for this one. We'll just have to pick up the altitude testing on the other lander. Right, now just trying a braking maneuver as best I can. Normally I'd have a nice circular orbit and go down, but I was trying to get that suborbital trajectory for the other mission. Right, stage. Go. Our actual lander stage is here. Just going to try and kill our horizontal velocity just over the target area. Gears, which also deploys the lander on this one. Sorry, deploys the ladders on this one. Very gently does it. And we're stabilized. Nice, we have landed. And we are in range of Meldrin here, so some reason Mildren's EVA jetpack isn't strong enough to do anything, so I'm just going to have to run over. So, catch you in about 400 meters of running. Pretty sure Mildren here is actually bugged out a bit, so I'm just going to load out. I still can't jetpack with Mildren, but at least she's actually on the ground now. It was before she was hovering in midair. Right, finally got to the ship and now trying to get up the ladders. But now my jetpack works. Excellent. And I bumped my head. Not so excellent. There we go. Can jetpack up, grab, board. And there we go. Now that that's done, it's time to do the science. It's from the southwest crater. Got new seismic data. Yeah, I don't think we can do the magnetar on the surface. Can however do mystery goo. Yeah, the ladders work fine all the way down, it's good to know, it's just getting up them that's causing a bit of issues. Let's surface sample, EVA report. Okay, and unfortunately we're not close enough to the actual storage bay to be able to grab the stuff out of it. Yeah, and I've just checked and this is the wrong biome to be finding any of the rocks that we need, but I can still set up the science experiments. Yeah, so we can do EVA science. Okay, it's just the main surface, so we don't need to do EVA science at every biome. Good to know. Deploy the solar panels. I'm going to plant flag. Okay, well, that's our little science area set up. This one is producing half a science an hour. This one doesn't seem to be doing much, but it's there, so we'll see. As far as I can tell, it's on and everything. So I'll just leave it to do its business. And we just have to take a running jump to get onto the ladder because of the weirdness with that ladder connection. And apparently this ladder connection. Okay, so I can't get all the way up. I'll just grab a jetpack to do the last bit then. Okay, that's all three kerbals here. All the science done. I have realised I've forgotten to take one of the science collector things in, but should be fine because we are returning with the science stage and the science stage does have a bit of a cushion this time. So let's hope that will be fine. Now, otherwise what I'm going to do is I'm going to push up, try and get myself in orbit that is ending about 250-260 meters to try and get this mission just done on this one rather than having to hope and rely on the next one to do it. And then after we get that high, I can then burn in the correct direction to retrograde us towards Kerbin. Yeah, that should be perfect. 18 minutes, we're at 255 kilometers. Right, so now I can just test these parts. Apparently I needed it in the staging list. There doesn't seem to be a way to add a part to staging once you're in the air. Yeah, okay, so I think that one might be a bit of a bust. I didn't realise I had to do that through staging, so I didn't realise this was actually a hard point that you could activate. I thought it was just a connector. Never mind, that will be something for a future mission then. For now, let's just get this back home. Yeah, so doing our retrograde burn. Heading towards the planet. This is actually only a 5-hour return. I think I'm going rather direct. So I'm actually going to just land this on Kerbin before going over to the other launcher. And doing a circularization burn before entering the atmosphere. And now it's got 32 kilometer expected orbit. Not completely round, but it will have to do. And I can stage. Retract our antenna. Okay, I believe we're more dense than the stage we knocked off because we're overtaking it. hopefully that'll be okay. Later is earning its keep on this one. Do seem to be slowing down. Leaving heat effect at 20 kilometers, so not bad at all. And here we have first one back home. Let's come to landing in the sea. I've got 400 science, or 477 science, nearly 7 grand back. And Meldon has joined us as a new scientist and has been promoted to level 1 right off the bat. It's all looking good. Okay, so we're back on the Kenny A. And first things first, we can get some science here that we've not got before. Okay, we can't do seismic scan right now, it's understandable. Can do the magnetometer data. Okay, but Carrie should be able to go on an EVA to do the EVA science. Yep, so we never got that from high over the moon before. Cool, and then grab the science. And I'm just going to pop out with Subas, our engineer. Just seeing if I can put these parts on and then find a way to somehow add them to staging. There doesn't seem to be any way to add it to staging after it's been deployed. Okay, that's still fine. I can just remove it then. So at least it's not going to be throwing off our centre of mass. Okay, I'm going to see if I can set down in the Twins crater, because there should be asteroids there, or moon rocks there that we can grab. Here and now in low orbit, so can run another survey, do another science report. Because I don't have a storage thing, I can't have both sciences. Yeah. Okay, so I left one of the science reports there. Not the end of the world, but not ideal. So I really need to add that little science container on this. Really helped. Yeah, we're over the twin crater, so let's see if we can set down here. And stage. It's going to push us a little bit over the other way just to make sure we do land here. EVA, just, yeah, we're above the twin craters. Oh, we haven't collected from the twin craters yet, so that's an extra one. Deploying gears and ladders. Cool. Because we just crashed that section into the ground, we got seismic data. So that's why the seismic thing wasn't producing anything, so it only gets reports when there are collisions, which is quite cool. A little bit hard, a little bit unsteady, but I think we're stabilised. Ground is a little bit wonkier than I thought. Okay. So other than a significantly wonky draft, I think we're doing okay. Yeah, time to do science, and before I forget, I did put on, I thought I put on, yeah, there's a little science arm. No targets in range. Okay, so the little arm can't actually reach down. Oh, but then the engineer can go and deploy everything. Almost, you just go down a little bit more. Drop all the parts on the floor. And our scientist can hop out. Oh, actually, I know what it was. It's just because I already had a EVA high. I wasn't actually in high orbit, I was in low orbit. Okay, that's fine. So I should be able to get more science. Okay, but we can't get another one from the surface. Can do surface sample, EVA report. That needs a hole in her inventory to actually be able to deploy all this stuff. Something seems a little bit bugged. It's not actually letting me pick these modules up anymore. Yeah, I've got no idea why that is. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, it just seems to have decided those two aren't there anymore. I don't know. It's just not letting me pick up with them or interact with them in any way, which is really quite annoying, but oh well. I'm going to see if I can get some moon rock to salvage some of this mission. Yeah, can pick up some moonstone. Yeah, okay, so as far as I can tell, I'm just not supposed to use the construction mode for doing this. It seems to have spaced out and bugged those two. It's a pity, but oh well. Oh, in that case, let's just head back. We're set up so we can pretty much just do a straight up burn. That'll put us retrograde, so we'll just do that. Do our braking maneuver on this one. Clear them out stage, and let's re-enter. And another successful landing. Very nice, that time 700 science received, so I've got 1,300. Interestingly, we got 13,000 back. Oh, it's because we landed closer to the Space Center. And carry is now level 2. Okay, so we completed the docking around the moon and crew transfer around the moon. Rescued the guy, or girl, I should say. Got the moonstone back with us this time. Got science from around the moon. So that puts us at 2.6 million. So we didn't get the small hard points because we forgot to, or I didn't realise that I had to do it through staging, and I can edit staging after launch. If you do know a way to edit staging after launch, please do let me know. Otherwise, our next story mission, sort of main plotline type mission, is explore Minmus, docking 2 vessels there. So we should be able to do that and probably join it with some other missions. Particularly, there's some interesting satellite missions that we've got here. There's also a build a new orbital station around the moon that we could also look at. Maybe get that parts mission done at the same time. By the way, we'll have a look at that next week. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, remember to leave a like or a comment. It really does help things out. And otherwise, I hope to catch you in the next episode. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and everyone else. Cheers!